Thank you for joining us for another episode of what I like to call the Prelim Podcast. You like that?
Sure. Let's go.
It's a little thing we're doing just to pass the time until... You good? All right. It's a little thing we're doing to pass the time until we actually start the podcast and this fucking pandemic is done. Anyway, today we're going to read you another tale of terror. This one comes from the sweet, sweet country of Nippon, baby, Japan. So that's why we've been drinking a shit ton of this Japanese sake.
Yeah.
We've had quite a bit. So
yeah, just in case you're tuning in, last episode we started drinking a fuck ton of sake.
Yeah,
which was intended for this
It's about
episode.
like down to here.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's a big bottle.
So anyway,
Yeah.
this is more fitting for this story than
But,
it was
I
for
mean-
learning Spanish. But
Booze is booze is booze.
Fuck
Anyway,
it, right?
so this is actually a scary story I read on a Japanese horror forum because for some reason I spend a lot of time on those. And
Because you're a fucking weeb.
yeah,
Weeb.
fucking weeb trash for life. Weeb. Yeah. And this one is called. Some of you may know this one for different reasons. This one is called Hachishakusama, and what it stands for, what it means
Hachishakusama.
roughly, is the 8 feet tall.
Are you telling me that there may be some other individuals in this world that knows that name by perhaps hentai?
I don't know about that, Steven.
We never watch hentai.
Never. We're pure souls. Pure. Anyway.
I actually haven't. I have a wife. You know, I have like real sex. No, so you're telling me that Japanese people are.
I mean, I have a wife too. Apparently, we ain't fucking the right way. So, hey, baby, I'm gonna mix it up tonight.
Tentacles. I'm bringing an octopus.
So the Japanese have as many tales about mythological creatures as they do have people. It's kind of insane, and this just happens to be one of them. So let's get started. This is the story of Hachishakusama, the 8 feet tall. Now, this is a story told through the perspective of the person it's happening to. So,
A Japanese person.
a Japanese person that this is happening to.
A Japanese man.
Yes.
Possibly 18 to 35.
You'll see. All right.
Oh, no.
So is the 8 inches long? The 8 feet tall? Oh yeah.
It's the 8 feet tall. So, my grandparents lived in Japan. Every summer, my parents would take me there on holiday to visit them. They lived in a small village and they had a big backyard. I loved to play there during the summer. When we arrived, my grandparents always welcomed me with open arms. I was there also.
Yeah, you gonna hug me? No, fuck you. I just have this open arm.
Open arm, bitch. Don't fucking touch me. Don't fucking touch me.
You fucking guess.
You can touch this.
Apparently they know the salsa merengue. Let's go.
Yeah.
I was their only grandchild, so they spoiled me. The last time I saw them was the summer when I was 8 years old. As usual, my parents booked a flight to Japan, and we drove from the airport to my grandparents' house. They were delighted to see me and had a lot of little presents to give me. My parents wanted to have some
Wait,
time
hold on.
by
Like little
themselves.
presents?
Yeah, that's actually kind of a thing in Japanese culture. Where
Just
you just
give
give
a
a
little
lot of little
presents?
presents. Yeah, like little candies and chocolates and toys and shit like that.
Oh,
I don't know
sweet.
why.
That's why they are scared of the fucking 8 foot. Just imagine you grow up with fucking little presents. And this is a fucking 8 foot tall guy from Holland visiting you. It is like,
He has no idea where this story is
you
going.
bring-
You're
did
going to
you
be
bring
rudely
it?
awake.
oh shit. Alright.
They were delighted to see me and had a lot of little presents to give me. My parents wanted to have some time by themselves, so after a few days...
They were gonna fuck.
Oh, they were going to be fucked like
Fucking
animals.
hardcore.
After a few days, they took a trip to another part of Japan. Yeah, they had to move to another side of a country just to fuck. Anyway, yeah,
It's a tiny country, isn't it? I mean, it's like
It's an
an
island.
island. Yeah,
But, I
it's
mean,
not
like,
like
it took a skateboarder like
We're
400
going.
days to go across that shit, so it's
oh,
far
wow.
enough.
That's
big
fine.
enough.
Oh, yeah.
Leaving me in the care of my grandpa and grandma. One day,
So these guys just go to Japan. Let's go to Japan to just ditch this fucking kid.
pretty
Just
much.
like, we need to fuck.
Dude, that's why they go to
Dude,
Japan. It's
I
just
know.
to fuck, bro.
Yeah, you do
can
that.
understand.
You get married, you
I
have
can
kids,
fucking
you have to do
understand.
that. You have to go to another
Or
country.
lock them in the
Ditch your
fucking
kids.
balcony or some shit. Hope they don't jump off and just fuck while they're at. Anyway.
Yeah.
One day, I was playing out in the backyard. My grandparents were inside the house. It was a hot summer's day, and I lay down on the grass to rest. I stared up at the clouds and enjoyed the feeling of the soft rays of the sun and the gentle breeze. Just as I was about to get up, I heard a strange sound.
How was the strange sound? Like a,
Boop, boop, boop,
how was the strange sound?
boop, boop, boop.
What was it? One of those groups that don't have instruments. That doesn't have instruments. They were like boom, 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 boom.
Oh, fucking,
a cappella.
pentatonics. Fucking,
With somebody beatboxing.
boop. Negative, my friend.
No.
I wish. So, boop, boop. I didn't know what it was, and it was hard to figure out where it was coming from. It sounded almost like somebody was just making the noise themselves, as if they were just saying boop, boop, boop over and over again in a deep, masculine voice. I was looking around, searching for the source of the noise, when I suddenly noticed something on top of the tall hedges that enclosed the backyard. It was a straw hat. It wasn't resting on the hedge, though. It was behind it. That's where the sound was coming from.
From the straw hat.
Guy
From
up,
straw hat.
guy up. Dreaming.
Boop, 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 boop. Then the hat began to move, as if someone was wearing it. The hat stopped at a small gap in the hedge.
Attack on Titan!
Humanity learned on this day the story of the Hachishakusama.
Yo, if we're weeping out right now, fucking straw hat pirates,
Yeah, yo.
fucking Monkey D. Luffy.
Dream. Don't
I
give
am
it
not
up,
that
Luke.
much of a weeb, you know.
Dude, I'm impressed you made that reference. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
So-
Thank you. I'm proud of you too.
The hat stopped at a small gap in the hedge, and I could see a face peering through it. It was a woman, but the hedges were high, almost 8 feet tall.
It's a fucking Dutch.
Fucking Dutchman, you're
Those
invading.
stains
The
are
white, people are,
coming.
the white people are seeking to colonize.
I just cannot believe all those Europeans visiting this backyard.
Every fucking weekend, they're right
Yeah,
fucking
every
there.
fucking weekend. They're going around with the tall
The fucking straw
bodies.
hats.
Straw hat pirates.
I was surprised at how tall the woman was. I wondered if she was wearing stilts or some sort of huge high-heeled shoes. Then a split second later, she walked off, and the strange noise disappeared with her, fading into the distance.
Were the high heels of a stripper?
Bruh,
Like
I mean,
bop,
8 feet tall.
Bop, bop,
Boop,
bop.
boop. I don't know any stripper heels that make the boop boop
I
boop
don't
noise,
know.
but you
I
know.
don't know. People-
Obviously,
people
you
got
haven't been
this,
around town.
I used to work every day next to the biggest strip club in California. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, you mean...
Next.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, bewildered, I got up and wandered back
Just
into the
asking
house.
for a friend. What is this, a strip club you're talking about?
Oh, bro, I'll tell you, don't you worry.
All right.
I got the hookup. I mean, for your friend. For your
Yeah, for a friend. Yeah, for a friend.
Which is me.
friend.
Cheers, I'm out.
Oh, oh.
I'm out.
You gotta stop trying to break this table.
I'm not trying to break the table. I'm trying to
Just
break
a shot glass.
Trying to break your will.
Good luck, many have tried.
I will fail, but I will try. Thank you, sir.
There you go,
Thank
you
you, kind
little
gentlemen.
bitch.
Think. Think. And when you tink,
Here's,
you
wait,
drink.
wait!
Come by.
Being sake. We will drink being sake. Fuck it, here we go.
Tastes like banana, man. Just tastes like banana.
What is up with you and bananas? All right.
Wow, sake.
Bewildered, I got up and wandered back into the house. My grandparents were in the kitchen drinking tea. Of course they were. Fucking. Of course. If you think of an old Japanese person, they're drinking tea.
Walk into the kitchen, they're like,
You know where they were fucking a second ago, but then as soon as they walk in,
They're like naked or something.
naked.
We're just drinking some tea.
don't mind us. You're 8. You don't know what fucking
Yeah.
is. Anyway. So, drinking tea. I sat down at the table, and after a while, I told my grandparents what I had seen. They weren't really paying attention.
Wait. What did you say? They saw the parents fucking in the kitchen?
I don't know.
But
apparently it wasn't worth listening to. They weren't really paying attention to me until I mentioned the distinctive sound.
Bop.
Boop, 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 boop. As soon as I said that, both of them suddenly froze. Grandma's eyes grew wide and she covered her mouth with her hand. Grandpa's face became very serious.
She took Grandpa's dick out of her mouth.
She wasn't paying attention the whole time. I didn't even know Grandma was there. It was more of a... I tried making a noise. Hold on. Editor, put this in before I come up.
Sorry, I'm taking back a paragraph. I'm sorry.
All right. They weren't really paying attention to me until I mentioned the distinctive boop,
I cannot keep track of this story. I'm too drunk.
sound. As soon as I said that, both of them suddenly froze. Grandma's eyes grew wide, and she covered her mouth with her hand. Grandpa's face became very serious, and he grabbed me by the arm.
It was very serious.
She grabbed her by the arm. I don't know where this is going, but I don't
mean,
like it.
The arm. This is very important, he said, in an intense voice. You must tell us exactly. How tall was she?
Wait.
How tall is that bridge?
Man,
As tall as the garden hedge, I replied, starting to get scared.
I'm scared.
I'm so scared. My grandfather bombarded me with questions. Where was she standing? When did this happen to you? What did you do? Did she see you? I tried to answer all his questions as best as I could. He suddenly rushed out to the hallway and made a phone call. I couldn't hear what he was saying. I looked over at my grandma and she was trembling.
She was calling immigration. He was calling immigration. Fucking Dutch people! Staring at my kid.
Get the fuck away! Get the guy
With their 8 feet going around with their 8 feet. I mean, I don't even know how tall is that.
I made these hedges just to keep them out, but they just fucking look over them.
We were fucking looking over with the 8 feet.
She was at least
even though we use like the metric system, and 8 feet doesn't make any sense.
She was at least as tall as two Japanese people.
Okay, Google.
That was pretty good.
What's 8 feet in meters?
8 feet is equivalent to 2.438 meters.
So just an average Dutch guy.
She was at least... Never mind. Go ahead.
Sorry for the people of Hall. I have a couple of friends that are from Belgium. They're pretty tall, motherfuckers.
I looked over at my grandma and she was trembling.
Do you know who you are?
Watch our videos. Please give us views. Please. We don't have any views on our videos. Please. Also, hit like, comment, subscribe. Whip that bell plug with your dick and our vagina.
I looked over at my grandma and she was trembling, probably because all that jizz was still in her mouth. Anyway, Grandpa came barging back into it.
What's wrong? Grandma doesn't swallow.
Grandma doesn't.
Weak ass bitches.
Grandma doesn't swallow. It's a cool name.
Bro,
it's a cool name for a punk band.
Bro, I swallow shit I don't want to all the time. Why? Because it's good for me.
No, it's not.
All right.
Don't.
Semen's good for you.
Don't.
Fucking man up, bitches.
Yeah, it's not
Drink that cum.
It's not a protein. Swallow that shit up, man.
It's not a.
All right.
It's not a food, you know. I mean, it's not like a.
It could be.
Oh my god.
Anything's a
Oh my
food if
God.
you try hard enough.
Oh my god.
Hold on.
Can we have a tangent here?
Anything's a food if you try hard enough. Continue.
Speaking of swallowing semen.
Hold on.
Tell us about your weekend.
I may
I
or
was
may
there.
not.
Oh shit.
I may or may not have had an ex-girlfriend who asked me a very serious question one time. She was extremely worried
Steven.
that she...
How many? We're gonna reenact this. Steven. How many dicks can you fit in your mouth?
I know.
2.
No, that depends.
One very large dick.
Can we?
Wait, hold on. What did your girlfriend say?
I may or may not have had an ex-girlfriend who was extremely worried and full of anxiety and sat me down. Had a very serious question for me. She asked me, "Oh my God, can I get pregnant if I swallow cum?" And I looked her dead in the eye and I said, "Yes."
God, I hope you did.
No, I did.
Holy
I
fucking
did.
shit. Man, it surprises me that some people are so fucking dumb. And it surprises me how many of those people you fucked.
I
So.
pissed me too.
Grandpa came barging back into the room and spoke to my grandmother.
Barging?
Barging, yeah.
What is barging? Like in
Crashing
a
in.
barge?
No, like when you barge into a room
You
and just open, like, what's up,
I
bitches?
just didn't have an idea what barging is.
He came crashing back into the room.
What's
I've got to go for a while, he said.
Oh,
You stay here with the child. Don't take your eyes off him for a second. Sounds like one of your work trips.
Oh.
What's going on, Grandpa? I cried. Did you just drink my shot?
No, that was your shot.
I drank my shot.
You would do that. You would drink your
Was
shot.
this your fucking
I
shot?
would. That's
Fuck
it.
it.
All right. What's going on, Grandpa? I cried. He looked at me with a sad expression in his eyes and said, "You've been liked by Hachishakusama."
She likes to
With
fuck
that, he hurried out, got into his truck, and drove off.
Is that a type of... Oh, no. I cannot say this.
Yeah, dude, I knew when I picked this story, I knew the moment I picked this fucking story.
Hey, if you like fucking
Bro.
little boys, leave your comments.
There's gonna be
below.
so many pedo jokes
We
here
we
today.
will forward it to the FBI, but
Wasn't-
if you like fucking little kids,
I wasn't even thinking. Is that a type of sushi?
it's a type of pedophile, I'll tell you that.
You guys gotta pick these jokes with better timing. You're gonna kill me. I turned to my grandmother and cautiously asked, "Who's Hachishakusama?"
I am so surprised how fluently you can say that shit.
Because I've already read this and they say it a lot.
Hachi
Hachi
Shaku.
Hachishaku.
Hachishaku. It's once you break it down, it ain't
Hachishakusama.
that hard. Hachishaku.
In Santa Monica.
Who's Hachishaku-sama? Don't worry, she replied in a shaking voice. Grandpa will do something. There's no need for you to worry. As we sat nervously in the kitchen, waiting for my grandfather to come back, she explained what was happening. She told me that there was a dangerous thing that was hunting in the area. They called it Hachishakusama because its height. In Japanese, Hachishaku means 8 feet tall. It takes on the appearance of an extremely tall woman, and it makes the sound of bo, 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 in a deep male voice. It appears slightly differently depending on who sees it. Some say it looks like a haggard old woman in a kimono, and others say it's a girl in a white funeral shroud. One thing that never changes is its height and the sound that it makes.
What was like 8.2 feet? Like, does that not run?
Are you gonna run up to it and fucking measure her ass?
I'm just
Or
saying,
the
like,
fuck-
how do they really know it's 8 feet?
Wait, but
I think they're guesstimating.
They don't. They
They
don't
might,
use.
they might be fucking.
Hey,
Don't they use? Don't they use meters in Japan?
might be
This
right,
is
you might be
America. We're talking about feet.
You might be right. What, dude? What if she was the 8 meter
Okay,
tall?
Google.
How many? How
Do
many?
they use the metric system?
They do.
In
do.
They
Japan, no.
They do.
How many Jose use the
How-
metric
no, how-
system?
no.
He's saying how many Jose. Google is so
How-
fucking
how many-
racist. Google is so fucking racist.
How many feet is 8 meters?
We already asked that. It
No,
was
you asked how
2.4.
many meters was 8 feet. I'm asking how many feet is 8 meters.
Oh, it's like way taller.
Exactly.
But
What?
how many-
What? Because they use a metric system. What if
Yeah.
she's the 8 meter tall woman?
Because 8 feet is not even that tall.
Oh, yes, the tallest man that has ever lived. Mind you, we're the tallest our species has ever been. The tallest man that has ever lived is like 7'6".
Yeah, but a feet taller
Okay,
than that.
yeah,
It's
but
not
that's
like...
fucking scary when she's just standing there going, "Boom, boom, boom," staring at your
Wait,
fucking
but,
kid.
but okay,
It gets better, don't worry.
okay, hold on. Okay, Google. Do they use the metric system in Japan?
They do.
According to Live Japan, Japan uses the metric system and, as such, you'll encounter the kilometer on maps and signs all over the country.
Okay, so she
As a
might be
reminder,
the 8 meter
minus
tall
1 meter
woman.
is about
Holy
3.3
fuck.
feet.
So-
Minus 1 kilometer is
How?
about
Okay, so
194
how?
yards.
Okay,
Or
shut the
about
fuck up, bitch.
Okay, Google, shut the fuck up.
Stop, Google. Okay, Google, translate this from Japanese.
Hachishakusama.
Here are some details.
Here's
All
some
right.
details.
Hachichaku.
Hachi. All right. Well, tell us in the comments below: is she the 8 feet tall or the 8 meter tall woman? Because one is spooky, one is just otherworldly. One is fucking terrifying. Anyway,
Yeah, you two viewers, please tell us.
There you
so
Thank you specifically that you were
we've covered she's hunting in the area.
Yeah.
So a long time ago, it was captured by monks, and they managed to confine it in a ruined building on the outskirts of the village. They trapped it using 4 small religious statues called Jizos. As soon as I said it, I'm like, who's gonna laugh first? Who's gonna laugh first?
Yeah, that is not cool.
Jizzos!
I'm not,
Not cool.
not even going to say anything. Please
That
continue.
is.
They placed these jizzos at the
that
north, south, east, and west of the ruins, and it wasn't supposed to be able to move from there because of the jizzos.
Cultural appropriation.
Yeah, man.
Everybody does it.
Somehow,
I've got a few jizzos in my bathroom. if you know what I'm
are they
saying.
at the north, south, east, and west?
Yeah, they're north, south, east, southwest,
South,
northwest,
yeah, my
northeast.
bad.
I got jizzos everywhere. Man, don't tell my girlfriend.
But
that.
somehow, it managed to escape.
I thought
The
about
last
something
time it
else.
appeared was 15 years ago. My grandmother said that anyone who saw the 8 feet tall was destined to die within a few days. It
Just
all
like my
sounded
unborn
so.
child.
That was such a sad noise. It was- Oh, I wanted that satisfying slap. All right.
No, it's sad. It's nothing but sadness.
It all sounded so crazy, I wasn't sure what to believe. When Grandpa came back, there was an old woman with him. She introduced herself as Kei-san and handed me a small, crumpled piece of parchment, saying, "Here, take this and hold it." Then, she and Grandpa went upstairs to do something. I was left alone in
That
the
grandpa-
kitchen with my grandmother. I
That
guess.
grandpa is no
Dude,
shit,
he a
man.
player.
He's
Dude,
a
he-
sly motherfucker.
he's cucking his wife. He introduced her to her. Just like,
Yeah.
Damn.
this is the bitch I'm about to fuck upstairs.
Damn.
Grandpa's a player. All right. I needed to go to the toilet. Granny followed me to the bathroom
Oh no.
and wouldn't let me shut the door.
No, yeah.
I was
like
beginning
Granny.
to get really frightened by all.
And then the cops came and took Ronnie.
My whole life changed.
Man, I'm so happy I picked the story.
So bad, Granny. Why did you
After
do
a
that,
while,
Granny?
Grandpa and Kei-san took me upstairs. Uh-oh.
It's not going well. That poor girl.
Stop!
I think,
And
okay,
brought
I
me
think-
into the bedroom.
I think this
Stop.
girl. I mean, the least thing she has to worry about is this fucking 8
It's a
foot,
little
8
boy.
meter- Oh, it's a boy.
8-year-old.
This boy is getting
Even worse. Well, it's the same. It's bad.
just as bad.
Just as bad.
Took me into the bedroom. The windows were covered in newspaper,
No.
and lots of ancient runes had been written on them.
Get out of there. Just
There
get
were
out of
small bowls of salt in all 4 corners of the room, and a
there. It's
small
not salt.
small Buddha figure placed at the center of the room on top of a wooden box. There was also a bright blue bucket.
Oh, no, the bucket.
What's the bucket for? I asked.
Don't ask.
That's for you to pee and poo, Grandpa replied.
Jeez,
Dude,
Grandpa.
this story's
This is
writing
not
the jokes
fucking
for
cool.
us.
I'm taking a
It's
shot
not
for
fucking cool. It's not fucking cool.
This is a shot for pee and pooing.
Pee and pooing.
For pee and pooing.
And a
Pee and
bucket.
And being molested
It's
by
not
your
cool.
grandparents.
And
not
Kei-san,
cool.
whoever the fuck this bitch is.
It's not cool. That's not. It's a rough. It's a rough place to be.
I'm sorry.
Stop spitting and shit, man.
I'm not spitting on you this time. I need another shot. I fucked it up.
God damn it.
I need another shot. I fucked up. I'm
We gotta
sorry.
get tested tomorrow, man.
I have to apologize for wasting alcohol. I'm sorry.
It's fine. As long as you realize what you did. All right. That's for you to pee and poo, Grandpa replied.
Oh, shit.
All right. Chill out. K-San sat me down on the bed and said,
Ah!
fuck.
I'm afraid to take a shot because if I spit it out again.
Take
That's
it, I'll
do
wait.
you know what? That's not cool. This is a story. That kid needs some help.
And so did you while you were in Mexico, but we didn't stop the fucking paper.
No, we didn't.
So we continued.
We continue.
So K-San sat me down on the bed, damn it. And she said,
She
"Soon."
grabbed her camera. What?
Let me fucking drink! Shut the fuck up!
All right, you're right.
Oh man, just don't stop spitting.
And you still spit! Okay, Oswaldo, you were there. We both shut up in solidarity. We listened to you, Crow. What did you do? You still spit. Like
I drank 95%.
You need a sippy cup?
No,
Boy!
don't offer the sippy cup. He will take it.
Yeah, I will.
That would be cool. I mean, drinking from a sippy cup. Drinking.
That's
Who's
pretty
a
bad.
fucking old adult?
pretty
Drink
baller.
from
Yeah,
whatever.
would you start like falling and just like.
This kind of backfired. Sippy cups are cool.
Please
Cups
continue.
are-
Please continue, my
All
friend.
right,
Hashtag sippy cup.
soon the sun will be setting, so listen carefully. You must stay in this room until tomorrow morning. You must not come out under any circumstances until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Your grandmother and your grandfather will not speak to you or call you until then. Remember, do not leave the room for any reason until then. I will let your parents know what is going on. I think we can all understand these orders, right?
Yeah.
Pretty
Don't fucking
straightforward.
leave there until 7.
Yep.
Yeah.
She spoke in such a grave tone that all I could do was quietly nod my head.
You know, but if they're my kids, the first thing they're gonna do is just get out of that fucking room.
Unless
5
they
minutes
saw an
after, they will be
8-foot
just like,
tall
"What is that?"
monster.
So I gotta
Unless they saw
say,
an 8-foot tall monster.
I have to say, this is this is written in the first person.
Spoken is not a word.
This was spoken. This was
Spoken.
This was spicking, all right.
This was speaked.
Alright, hold on.
Yeah.
This was speaked. This was spoked. This
It's spoken.
this was blood. In the first person. So obviously this kid survives. Right. Because you can't speech in
Well,
first
you
person.
might learn something about Hachishaku being able to replicate.
No, man, are you spoiling it?
Spoiler.
I'm not spoiling anything.
Fucking
I'm not
asshole.
spoiling anything. You'll see.
All right,
You'll see.
keep
You'll see.
reading. Keep reading. Oh man, keep
I'm
reading before I
invested.
like
I
pass
am
out.
fucking invested.
You have to follow Keisan's instructions to the letter, Grandpa
Keisan?
told me. Keisan.
No, I can go for some queso right now.
I thought Grandpa was not talking to him.
Oh, no, when they close the door.
I thought Grandpa was fucking him.
I almost forgot.
Not funny.
I almost forgot about the molestation.
It's not funny, but why are you smiling?
Not funny.
Fuck, smile, fucker. I see you smiling.
Ah, God damn it.
All right. To the letter, Grandpa told me, and never let go of the parchment she gave you. You guys remember that shit?
Yeah.
Never let go of the parchment she gave you.
Oh, the parchment. I forgot about it already.
Yo, you don't know
I'll be so
about.
fucking dead in this scenario. Are we just like, what did she say?
Don't you know about the ancient parchment? You roll it open and it reads arms heavy, mom spaghetti. Knees weak.
Stop.
My asshole's on fire.
You have proven how white you are, man. You don't need to go any further.
Eminem's the best rapper.
He also kind of is. He's also pretty great.
This is pretty good.
Maybe not-
Nobody fucks with a white boy.
Maybe
when it
not the
comes to rap.
best, but very good.
Anyway,
Yeah.
And if anything happens, pray to Buddha and make sure you lock this door when we leave.
Grandma, but I'm Christian.
Not
I mean,
today.
I was raised in the fucking States.
Get your colonist mindset out of here, motherfucker.
They walked out into the hallway, and after saying goodbye to them, I closed the bedroom door and locked it. I turned on the TV and tried to watch, but I was so nervous I felt sick to my stomach. Grandma had left some snacks and some rice balls for me. But I couldn't
Rice
eat them,
balls.
of course, yeah. But I couldn't eat them. I felt like I was in prison, and I was very depressed and scared. I lay down on the bed and waited. Before I knew it, I was asleep. When I woke up, it was just after 1 a.m. All of a sudden, I realized something was tapping on the window.
It's kind of fucking scary.
I felt the blood draining from... I felt the blood draining... I felt the blood... You fucker.
I gotta stop my fucking knuckles here.
I felt the blood draining from my face, and my heart skipped a beat. Desperately, I tried to calm myself down, telling myself it was just the wind playing tricks, or maybe the branches of a tree. I turned the volume on the TV to drown out the tapping noises. Eventually, it just stopped altogether. That's when I heard Grandpa calling me. "Are you okay in there?" he asked. "If you're scared, you don't have to stay in there all alone. I can come. I can come in and keep you company."
No.
I smiled and rushed over to
go to
open
jail.
the door. But then I stopped in my tracks. I had goosebumps all over my body. It sounded like Grandpa's voice, but somehow it was different.
That dumb motherfucker opened the door before 7 a.m.
I couldn't tell what was... No, he didn't open it. He said he froze in his tracks.
Oh, so he was hearing
He
it.
heard the voice from outside the door.
Oh, it was a
Are you even fucking listening,
Yeah.
goddammit?
But somehow it was
Yes.
different. I think that's been listening. So I couldn't tell
Boop.
what it was, but I just knew.
Boop. You can open boop the door.
It's Pope.
Boop. Now that's pop.
Boop.
Boop.
Pope.
Welcome to the bar.
So,
Boop.
Come on,
You
the
can
bar.
boop. Get out.
How about you
Boop.
what are you doing?
Totally not a ghost. Boop.
I'm not a ghost, Bob.
What are they, a
Shorter than
Pokemon? They can't fucking talk without saying their name.
Boop.
And then the kid grabbed his Pokeball.
My journey's about to begin.
I'm gonna catch a,
Pikachu started with... Ash started with Pikachu, I start with Hachishaku.
I'm gonna catch my first yokai.
Yeah, hey.
Yokai-mon.
Hachisaku. 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 Hachi. Shaku. Saku.
I couldn't tell what was, but I just knew. What are you doing? Grandpa asked. You can open the door now. I glanced to my left and a chill went down my spine. The salt in the bowls was slowly turning black.
That's cool. So black volcanic salt is really nice.
She's
like
just
salt, but just
spicing
black.
it up. You know, she's mixing up your salt
Yeah,
arrangements.
just
White
like-
people salt out here.
Just make it black. Volcanic. There you go. I backed away from the door. My whole body was trembling with fears.
All the fears. All the fears.
I'm trying to make corrections as I read this because it was written by someone in Japanese. So anyway,
Yeah.
I fell to my knees in front of the Buddha statue and clutched the piece of parchment tightly in my hand. I started to pray, desperately praying for help.
to Buddha. No.
Yeah,
to
can I?
Buddha.
Please save me from the Hachishakusama. I
Because she
wailed.
prays to
Because I am
Jesus.
wailing. I'm sorry.
He prays to Jesus, then
They do that shit
Kids
quietly.
fuck off.
They don't wail.
And they realized that Buddha was the wrong deity to worship.
yeah.
And he went to-
Hachishakusama slapped it out of your hands and gave you
Yeah.
a cross
And
and
he-
said, "Boy,
And he was
you need Jesus."
Boy, you need Jesus in your life. What is this Buddha crap? The demon.
Please continue.
Please save me from the Hachishakusama, I wailed. Then I heard the voice outside the door again. And it said, "Boop, boop,
Boppity
boop, 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 boop." The tapping on the window started up again. I was overcome by fear and I crouched there in front of the statue, half crying and half praying for the rest of the night.
Do you think the Hachisakus have like yearly meetings, like quarterly meetings? They're
Did you spook enough kids today?
They're just no. They're all like you know.
No,
like
there's
having
supposed to be one. Because if you were listening,
Oh.
there was one, and they locked it up with the Jizzo statues, and then something happened and it
Wait,
got out.
hold on. Okay, well,
See?
maybe the Hachisaku.
It already answered your question, bro.
Just one. But yeah, does maybe the Hachisaku has like a consultant or something? Have they have at
She
some
runs a
point,
business, damn it.
Hold on. At some point, have somebody told this lady, you might get more kids if you stop making that sound.
Well, but I think, okay, personally,
I mean, Hachisaku.
This is what I...
Listen,
this is,
Hachisaku. If you stop
he
making...
wants to
boop,
represent you,
boop,
okay?
boop, boop. I mean, but you just cannot start with the boop in front. You can just represent, and then later on you introduce the boop. But you can't start with the boop right now.
Osman, this is what I think. I think the bo is how she talks. And the only way she can sound different is when she's imitating somebody.
Learn English.
Sounds like she needs to learn Japanese.
If you'd like to watch our last episode about learning Spanish, bippity bop, lady. Boopity bop.
Boop.
All right,
Boop.
so...
Yeah.
Bo. The tapping on the window started up again. Blah, blah, blah. Crying, half praying, half crying for the rest of the night. I felt like it would never end. But eventually, it was morning.
Half crying, half...
The salt in all 4 bowls was pitch black. I checked my watch. It was 7:30 a.m. I cautiously opened the door. Grandma and Kason were standing outside waiting for me. When she saw my face, Grandma burst into tears.
He doesn't have to get out of the before 7:30?
Yeah, no, she said, don't open this door before 7.
All right,
so now
all right.
it's 7:30, it's safe, he's good. See,
Eastern,
he's a smart
Eastern
kid.
Of
He's a
Pacific.
smart kid. Yeah. I'm so glad you're still
wait,
alive.
7:30 Eastern of Pacific time.
I think they're working out the same time. Unless Hachishaku is like Pacific Coast.
Yeah.
Turns out,
different
dude, she's
time
East
frame.
Coast. Hachishaku is a New Yorker. So
Which is a type of
so he
sushi.
comes out of the room, and his grandma sees him, and the first thing she says is, "I'm so glad you're still alive."
God damn it.
I went
Shout to
downstairs. You know what? Yeah.
Shout
Yeah.
to being alive at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, 7:30 in the morning. Yeah, I remember that. I used to come out of bars like that, like, oh, I'm glad you're still alive.
I went downstairs and was surprised to see my father and mother.
Mother.
Me father and mother
Mother.
sitting in the kitchen.
Sitting-
And Grandpa
oh,
came
chilling?
in and he said, "Hurry up, you twat." No. Hurry up, he said. "We've got to get going."
What?
We went to the front door and there was a large black van waiting in the driveway.
Fuck is this?
Several men.
Don't get in the van!
This is good advice.
Pro tip.
This is
Don't get in
solid
the van!
advice.
Pro tip. Don't fucking get in there.
Where you go?
Several men from the village were standing around, pointing at me and whispering, "That's the boy." The van was a 9-seater, and they put me in the middle, surrounded by 8 men.
No.
I'm gonna give you guys a beat because
Yeah.
No,
that's pretty good
We
sound.
have
Don't
nothing
get in
to
the
say.
van.
We
Don't
have
get in the
nothing.
van.
Okay. Kason was in the driver's seat. I appreciate your restraint. Kason was in the driver's seat. The man on my left looked down at me and said, "You've got yourself in quite a spot of trouble."
What the fuck?
Guys.
What the
I know you're
This is
probably
a fucking
worried.
kid, man. It's not
Just
cool.
keep your head down and shut your eyes. We can't see it, but you can.
What the fuck?
Don't
Just-
open your eyes until we get you safely out of here.
No.
Grandpa drove me.
We already know.
Grandpa drove in front, and my dad's car was following behind. When everybody was ready, our little convoy started moving. So Grandpa's driving another car up front, Dad's driving another car up back. We were going fairly slow, around 20 kilometers an hour, or maybe less. After a while, Kason said, "This is where it gets hard,"
No.
and started muttering a prayer under her breath. Man, this is so spooky, but also, if you just
It's a spooky.
tweak the lens just a little bit. Just a little bit.
It's spooky if you're that fucking little boy, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna get.
Rip.
That is when I heard the voice. Boop, 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 boop. I clutched the parchment Kason had given me and kept it tight to my heart. I kept my head down, but I peeked outside. I saw a white dress fluttering in the breeze. It was moving along with the van. It was Hachishakusama. She was outside the window, but she was keeping pace with us. Then she suddenly bent down and peered into the van. No! No, I gasped. The man beside me shouted, "Close your eyes!" I immediately shut my eyes as hard as I could and tightened my grip on the piece of parchment.
Clench my pothole.
Then the tapping began again. The voice became louder. Boop. No, keep going. Hope you guys can hear this. Boop, 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 boop. There was tapping on the windows all around us. All the men in the van were startled on the edge, muttering nervously to themselves. They couldn't see the 8 feet tall, and they couldn't hear her voice, but they could hear her tapping on the windows. Kei-san started praying louder and louder until she was almost shouting. The tension inside the van was unbearable. After a while, the tapping stopped, and the voice disappeared. Kei-san looked back at us and said, "I think we're safe now." All of the men around me breathed a sigh of relief. That was a really good, like, you guys joined in on everything. That was pretty good, like, horror, like, nice build-up, and then, well done, gents. You brought it all full circle. All right.
10 out of 10.
All of the men around the van pulled over to the side of the road, and the men got out. They transferred me into my dad's car. My mother held me close, and tears were running down her cheeks.
My poor boys!
What did they do to you?
What we do for money?
I'm gonna How do you think we can afford a summer vacation to Japan every year?
Damn.
Everybody good?
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. There you go.
Oh, man.
Grandpa. Okay. Oh yeah, cheeks are running. Tears are running down her cheeks.
Cheeks
are running
down
her
my tears.
Just crying, giant hunks of ass.
This is a new level.
Just giant hunks of ass coming out of your eyelids.
This is a new level of torture I've never experienced.
All I wanted to feel was sorrow, and now it's immense pain. All right. Grandpa and my father bowed to the men, and they went their way. Kei-san came to the window and asked me to show her the piece of parchment she had given me. When I opened my hand, I saw that it had gone completely black and burned. "I think you will be okay now," she said, "but just to be sure, hold on to this for a while." And she handed me a new piece of parchment. After that, we drove straight to the airport. Grandpa saw us safely onto the plane.
This fucking kid ruined the vacation, man.
Yeah, Mom and Dad were having an orgy.
Yeah, it's just like...
Grandpa was cucking Grandma. It was great. And then they just like, all right, get this fucking kid out of this country.
They got dip in their life savings. Like,
God damn
I
it.
stayed there for 20
We just
years.
wanted to fuck. When we took off, my parents finally breathed a sigh of relief.
Oh,
My father told me he had heard about the 8 feet tall before. Years ago, his friend had been liked by her. The boy disappeared and was never seen again. My father said there were other people who had been liked by her and lived to tell about it. They all had to leave Japan and settle down in foreign countries. They were never able to go back to their homeland.
Can you put that in your visa application?
Can't go back.
Yeah,
8 feet tall, but won't let me go back. She says some shit about po-po-po. I don't know.
All right,
But she's
approved.
spooky as shit. She always chooses children as her victims.
Yeah,
They say it's because children are dependent on their parents and family members. This makes them easier to deceive when she poses as their relatives. He said the men in the van were all blood relatives of mine, and that's why they had been sitting all around me, to confuse her, and why my father and grandpa had been driving in the front and the back. It had all worked, and Hachishakusama had been confused. It took a while to contact everyone and get them all together, so that's why I had to be confined in the room all night. He told me one of the little Jizo statues, the ones that were meant to keep her trapped, had been broken, and that's how she escaped the first time. It gave me chills. I was glad when we finally got back home. All this happened more than 10 years ago, so he was 8 when that happened. So it's happened more than 10 years ago. I haven't seen my grandparents since then. I haven't been able to so much as set foot in the country. Afterwards, I would call them every few weeks and talk to them on the phone. Over the years, I tried to convince myself that it was just an urban legend, that everything that happened was just some elaborate prank. But sometimes I'm not so sure. My grandfather died 2 years ago. When he was sick, he wouldn't allow me to visit him, and he left strict instructions in his will that I wasn't to attend his funeral.
What a
It was
fucking
all
asshole.
That's a
very sad.
That's a lot of shit to go through. Just that fuck all the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, what is said, like, all right, so everybody can go to my funeral, but this fucker, no, not that guy.
Well, because
Fuck
then
that guy.
the kid that would have to go back to Japan, and somebody's waiting for him.
Damn. He was 18.
It was all very sad, yeah. My grandmother called a few days ago. She said that she had been diagnosed with cancer. She missed me terribly and wanted to see me just one last time before she died.
That's not your grandma.
Are you sure, Grandma? I
That's
asked.
not his grandma.
Is it safe? Oh, it's been 10 years, she said. All that happened a long time ago. It's all forgotten. You've all grown up. I'm sure there won't be a problem.
GGF. Press F to fix
Hashtag
this.
boop.
But,
Boop.
but what about Hachishakusama, I said. For a moment, there was silence on the other end of the phone. Then, I heard a deep, masculine voice saying,
Fuck you, motherfucker.
"Bull, bull, 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 bull." And that's it. That is the story of the 8 feet tall of Hachishakusama.
Fuck
Please
you, we had to skip
sign
that, damn it.
up for the petition to stop the Dutch people for terrorizing the
I
Japanese.
know, they keep stealing their kids and
Okay,
shit,
the
man.
most unbelievable part of the story was an 8-foot tall Japanese woman.
That's why he's so scary, dude. Because you can have an 8 foot tall Chinese dude, 8 foot tall American, 8 foot tall Dutch, but Japanese.
Let's
Make
do
it
the
fucking
rounds.
scary.
Oswaldo, do you think this is a real story? Is it believable?
You know what, Steven?
What?
I do believe it's real.
Why is that?
Boop. Boop.
100%. If your face starts stretching and you start
Yeah.
going, boop, 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 I would just start punching. I would just start.
No.
100%. See, that's why I don't know. That's why I can't do horror films. Because the moment shit would start going wacky, I'd be like, all right. Nope.
I'll be watching.
Fists.
I'll be watching Bones punching your face. I'll just be like,
What?
JoJo reference.
Tokyo.
Oh, shit, my fucking mic.
All right. So,
My opinion,
genuinely, you actually believe, like,
You know what? I want to believe it's real. I know it's not real, but I want to believe it's real.
it's one of those
That's
more
fine.
believable ones, yeah. It has a lot of
I
like
mean, honestly,
rural
none of
kind
this shit
history behind it.
really happens. That's
Obviously.
that's the bad thing about
But okay, how about this? On a believable
in the
scale
current-
of 1 to 10.
in the current model of physics. The existence of ghosts and supernatural beings is not allowed. Cannot be
Okay.
explained.
Well, there's a difference between fact and like belief. Fact is owned and like ruled by science and math and shit like that. But belief
Doesn't exist.
You can believe you're straight all you want, but find out the secret.
You know what? That's the completely.
It's not belief. I picked the wrong word. But anyway.
That's the. I think the scariest part of the story, it's living in a world where this kind of shit cannot happen.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that if you really think about it, like,
Yeah.
there's a kid and like somebody could have just pranked him because in Japan, supernatural warnings and shit like that are actually taken pretty seriously.
Yeah.
Like for a while, there was a story of a woman, the slit-faced woman, who had the Harlequin smile where they carve your cheek
Chelsea
open.
smile.
Yeah, Chelsea.
Yeah.
There was a woman like that, and she would slice up kids. And the rumors got so fucking nuts that kids had to go home in groups supervised by teachers. Wow. Like that's how serious they take like supernatural phenomena in Japan. And that wasn't that long ago. Like I remember when that happened. It's crazy how serious they take that shit. So Hachishakusama, it doesn't surprise me in the least that because in Japan, like every prefecture, because they don't have like states and shit, every prefecture has a different like lingual thing. Like they sound dialect. They sound different. So and they have different beliefs, and that also translates to different supernatural beliefs. So do I believe that there is a group of people that have a Hachishakusama problem? Yes, 100%. Whether the Hachishakusama problem is legitimate, I don't know. Probably not. I don't believe it at all. But these people 110% believe them. And there are Yankees and Bonchos and motherfuckers in Japan that would totally just pay a chick to fucking stand on stilts and go oogity boogity boogity to fuck with them once every while.
Yeah, I would.
Why the fuck not? Yeah, you would.
I would fucking.
Especially if you lived your entire life in Japan, a tiny ass island separated from the rest of the world. Yeah, you would fucking do that.
I mean, mass hysteria is real.
That's true.
For sure.
It's true,
Mass
especially when
real.
your world is a small ass
mass
fractured
hysteria is
island.
real. But I mean, I have these like complicated relationship with this kind of things, because I think I really want to live in a world with all these like supernatural, super interesting, this wonderful aliens, God, like all these things exist.
I think everybody
because
does
the
in a small
alternative,
way.
which I am 100% convinced that's the real thing. The alternative
Reality.
is like there is fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Opinion of whether it's real or not, it's not real. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for watching, everybody. The special episode of this unnamed podcast.
The Untitled Podcast.
Untitled.
For now.
Tales.
We have an
Tales
idea
from the
on
cock.
if
You
we
didn't
say-
tell us. You did. You did tell us.
Wasn't it belong dead? We
Didn't
belong
happen.
dead?
Didn't
I'm
happen.
not gonna say anything else, but any other supernatural occurrences, just this particular case, didn't fucking happen.
All right.
Fair enough. All right, guys. Cheers. Oh, hold on.
Cheers.
Let me.
We'll see you in the hospital.
Oh man, no.
We'll see you on the other side. Cheers, mates.
To the other side.
Hell to the company.
Hell to the company.